Traditional automotive gauges use a sending unit to either change the reading shown on the instrument cluster or activate a warning lamp for a predetermined condition, such as low oil pressure or high engine coolant temperature. An exception to this would be oil pressure gauges, fed through a capillary tube. These gauge sending units transfer their signal through the engine bulkhead connection to the dash harness, but usually rely on an otherwise direct connection to the back of the gauges. Some aftermarket gauge systems keep this type of setup, but others use a digital module to control the instrument cluster readings shown inside the vehicle. This type of system still uses sending units, but the movement of the needles and activation of any indicator lights is controlled by the module rather than a direct feed to the gauges. Classic updates or universal kits will support either style of cluster. The difference in wiring is that systems with a control box require connections from the American Auto wire harness be made to the box rather than the back of the cluster. These aftermarket systems will also frequently include or specify sending units for oil pressure, coolant temperature, or vehicle speed. But if you're installing one of these aftermarket systems, you'll want to verify those requirements through the gauge instructions as part of your installation. The connections required to the control box will vary from manufacturer to manufacturer, but the basic principle will remain the same. The wires in the classic update will carry the signals that ultimately arrive at the cluster, but they will do so after first being interpreted by the controller. Transmission of this signal is handled by a smaller cable provided by the gauge manufacturer. This connection is as important as making sure the gauges have power and the signal wires are in the correct locations, so it's critical to make sure they are also connected per the manufacturer instructions. Once all of your connections are made, the interaction between the American Auto wire harness and control box, the gauges will function just like an original set, but with all the added functions typically available with a more modern digital setup.